Okay, alright, that was that. So, now on to volume 9. Route 1. Splitting this again. The loneliest girl in Alternia. Oh, the lionliest. Ah, I got tripped up. Well done. Well done. Alright, warnings. Even though most of them are probably not that relevant, most of them tend not to be. Blood, animal attack, parental energy, animal injury, drugs. Okay, nothing particular. Nothing particularly major then. We can handle that easily. Easily. The lionliest girl in Alternia. Let's go. Time to face facts. Something is going on here. No shit. No fucking shit. You think something's going on here? Well, you didn't already know that. You've had the blurry outlines of all this strangeness for a long time. It's only after you stint with Aradia that you've managed to fill in all the shapes and colors. Your friends, the companions you've been to hell and back with. You forgot about them. That feels like... you can't even come up with a sufficiently dramatic mixed metaphor. It just feels like shit. It feels bad. Your desperate friendship thirst was compelled. You get that, and it's mostly worn off by now. Do we believe that? I don't think I believe that. But what the fuck else are you supposed to do? It's basically just your job now, so you'll keep doing that job. Yeah. Whatever, let's just do the damn route. Who did Equis tell you about? His Morail? Alright, you'll go try find her in the middle of the woods, which is a very normal thing to do. You'll be normal. It's a normal kind of day. Yes, very normal. You zap to the mouth of a cave and are immediately set upon by a wild beast. Well, yeah, I mean, it did say animal attacks and stuff like that. Yellow eyes flash and sharp teeth glitter. You brace yourself to be made into dinner. Oh, that rhymed. Aha! It's not gonna happen often. Doesn't happen often at all. I doubt it will continue. The wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. Oh, hello, you're cute. You're silly. The wild lioness sits back on her Alright, let's remember, trolls, I bet she's actually narrating this. It's not a narrator, she's actually narrating stuff. Meow, the wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. That's how you know she does that. She tells you. See? Fucking tell. But taking a closer look, you realize that she is in fact not a wild lioness. Just a very unkempt troll in a green coat and grubby t-shirt. She smells like a fire pit. AC licks her snout and tries to figure out who has happened upon her den. A friend? A foe? Dinner, perhaps? The troll girl licks her lips, and you realize that even though she is not some bloodthirsty predator, she does have very sharp canines and clawed gauntlets on her little hands. She's small, but with trolls you've discovered the hard way that size does not translate in a 1-to-1 strength ratio. Yeah, oh shit. You tell her that you're a friend, definitely a friend, and not at all the sort of friend you playfully fight with and then accidentally eviscerate, because you never know with trolls. The girl, whose name you have a sneaking suspicion might be Nepeta, scratches at her chin, her fingers curled up like a paw. You're worried that she's going to put her eye out with those claws. She's used to, come on now. AC wrinkles her nose and wonders what anyone could be doing all the way out here in the wastes. It's not very plausible. That one was a bit of a stretch. How did you come upon my cave? AC says it with a growly glower. Growly glower. Come on, let's play along. It's fun. She's having fun. I don't think she means any harm. Maybe? Maybe? Play along. It just happens that you are an expert RPer. And by expert you mean you once played soldier per beasts with a stressed out Jade Blood kid, which you'd forgotten about until literally yesterday. Anyway, what you mean is, you've got some moves. You go limp and shove a pet to your throat, yielding to who is clearly the alpha female here. You're barely even role-playing here. Every olive blood you've met could rip out your intestines and wear them as a shawl. Nepeta beams down at you, before remembering that she is a regal lioness. AC nuzzles the strange little cub and welcomes them to her cave. Appearing to realize that she doesn't need to describe her actions out loud because you are right in front of her, Nepeta nuzzles you gently with the top of her head. You get the feeling she doesn't get out much. That's fine. You tell her that you didn't mean to startle her or anything, you just think you have a mutual friend, a big indigo blood named Equis. Nepeta digs her nails into your arms. Her eyes go wide. You know Equus? How? Where did you meet him? Tell me everything. Well, it's kind of a funny story. Before you can get into it, well, she's being distracted like a cat, jumping. Nepeta launches herself off of you and scampers into the cave. When she runs, her knuckles occasionally touch the ground. You aren't sure if she moves like that naturally or if she is just very, very in character. Right. Oh yeah, right. Like that one character from... I already forget which fighting game it is. Fuck, there's too many fighting games, and I know almost none of them, except for Mortal Kombat and... Fuck, in the moment I forget already. What's the other big one? Anyway, Street Fighter, that's the one. And then... Moving on, I'm not gonna remember. She pauses at the mouth of the cave and gestures you inside, the sleeves of her coat flopping down past her wrists. If you had parents, they probably would have taught you not to follow catgirls into caves, but you didn't, so you're totally down. Indeed. The cave is small and chilly. Several animal pelts cover the cavern floor, from creatures too large to be wolves but too shaggy to be bears. Maybe some sort of wolf bear? Maybe even an owl bear, All the furniture is hewn from stone. The Recupa raccoon formed from a natural hollow in the rock. Too many R's there. That really tripped me up. Of all the hives you spent time in, this one is the most rustic. You wonder why. Nepeta isn't a high blood, but she's certainly not a low blood either. She could have made a hive at least as nice as Tavros's. AC welcomes a strange cub to her den, and invites them to sit down whenever they please. She realizes that their visitor is probably sleepy and hungry. Luckily, AC has a fresh kill. Oh great, that is really lucky. Nepeta skips back outside, leaving you alone and feeling, well, like you followed the feral child into her cave. Torchlight burnishes shapes strange and forbidding. And forbidding? Forbidding. The irregular flicker disorienting. People used to do everything by firelight. No wonder medieval art is so preposterous. Dogs with the faces of old men and old men with the faces of babies. And speaking of art, I mean, that's just how you depicted the kings, because they were fat and had baby faces. Because you didn't want to draw them ugly, because then your head would roll, wouldn't it? That's how it worked, didn't it? Doesn't it? I think it does. And speaking of art, drawings peppered the cave walls, shaky and crude. Although you doubt even Michelle fucking Michelangelo could do much with a canvas like this. Don't underestimate artists, they can do so fucking much. Look up like 2-color art. I bet that exists. Okay, I'm not gonna look it up, but I bet there's... I mean, fuck, we don't even need to look at. We know you can do so much with so little. Just like a canvas and just like splatter 1-colored paint on it. You can do miracles with that. Magic. I bet there's like a Bob Ross episode where he just uses 1 color or something like that. He was a dope man like that. He would have done that, probably, maybe. The pictures seem to depict Nepeta and various other trolls, some of whom you think you recognize. You see Karkat's nubby little horns and Equus's broken one. A few pictures have been viciously scratched out, falling out. A couple of the self-portraits of Nepeta also feature a large, sleek white cat. You wonder if that's her hunter sona. Lion sona? Whatever. Then you hear a growl behind you and realize, oh right, Nepeta has a lusus. Meow. Hot, damp breath touches the back of your neck, and you turn as slowly and as carefully as you can. Hello, kitty. Oh, it has 2 mouths. Interesting. 2 hissing mouths open in 2 snarls as a big cat backs you up against the cavern wall. Oh, Pounce, stop that silly kitty. This is furry end. Nepeta hurries back inside, throwing herself onto her lusus and petting rambunctiously. Pounce's hisses immediately turn to purrs. She rolls onto her back and bats big, terrifying paws in the air. Ah, who is a good kitty? Who is the very best kitty? Pounce, we have a guest for dinner. They know Equus. You do, right? Nepeta looks at you with sharp little eyes. You do know my meow rail. You aren't lioning? Of course not. Oh, definitely not. You would never lion. You'll never forget Equus no matter how hard you try. Although you did recently forget every single person you ever knew. That will absolutely never happen again though. You won't allow it. AC leaves her weird friend in the very capable paws of her lusus while she goes to prepare a delicious meal. Oh damn, Nepeta, please don't go away and leave your guest alone with a ferocious beast. But Pounce seems pretty well placated by Nepeta's insistence that you are a friend and not food. She curls up on one of the animal pelts, tucking her head. Her tail twitches and her ears flick. You're pretty sure she's only pretending to sleep, like she's giving you a shot, and if you fuck up, it's lunchtime. You sit very still and try your best to look unthreatening. I mean, I don't think there's anything we can do to look threatening in the first place. Just a little while ago, this would have been easy. You'd been totally defenseless and thinking the most unthreatening thoughts. But now you remember at least a little of who you were, and you know what you've done, even if some of it was done in dead-end timelines that never actually came to pass. Right, sure, some roots are actually non-canon. Oh well, everything's canon here. You're not sure you can still call yourself an innocent bystander. No. Nepeta derails this dangerous train of thought by dragging in a huge haunch. That's just really the only word for it. A haunch. Something's leg? Wow, when she said she had a fresh kill, you'd figured that was part of the RP, like she was just gonna pull out a Digierne or something like that, but nope. She really did tear apart some animal and bring you its leg. Well, cool. Fresh meat, I guess. Let's cook it though, at the very least. She has blood smeared over one cheek, her hair is in pieces across her sweaty forehead. You get why she and Equus get along. They have an equivalent ferocity. Good thing you aren't a vegetarian. You are gratified to discover Nepeta appears to draw her roleplay line at devouring raw meat. You wonder if trolls could eat meat raw, or if it would make them sick. I bet they could. Why not? Why not? But I mean, probably would make them sick. They're still like people and other gods, more or less, right? Right? I don't remember. Something like that. They definitely seem to be more natural predators than humans are. But then again, most of them live in houses and eat cup noodles and play video games. You don't really met anybody like Nepeta. You watch her build a fire and then take yourself on a little trip to the mouth of the cave while she cuts up the meat and spears it on stakes to cook. You come back over to the fire when the meat looks a little bit less like flesh and more like food. Honestly, it shouldn't bother you. You've seen and been through so much worse. Guess the mind is a strange and many-layered beast. Indeed, it has to be. Otherwise, if it doesn't have multiple layers of protection and disassociation, we would be fucked. We would be really fucked. We couldn't really cope with we couldn't cope with childhood. For starters, childhood trauma would stay with us forever, but we compartmentalize that we deal with it with other memories and other stuff like that. And okay, never mind. I'm getting off track. Am I ever? No, I'm not on track ever. But anyway, this is what we have the track on. My mind is not on track, but this is what the track is. There you are. I thought you'd run out into the waste like a big, powerful idiot. It's dangerous out there. Well, she went out there, although it's possible she's dangerous too. I mean, she is the danger. That makes Nepeta smile. She still can't quite meet your eyes, but she's fidgeting with her gauntlets less than she was before. So you really met Equus? Really? She slides up close to you. Almost too close to talk comfortably. You wonder if this is the first conversation she's ever had that wasn't through a computer screen. You tell her that yes, really, you met him. You spent a good amount of time with him too. That's incredible. I've never seen that silly guy hang out with anybody before. Except for maybe Whiskers. Whiskers? Oh, does she mean Riska? You know her too. Really? Yep, you would probably be hanging out with her right now if she hadn't gone off to do some Antifa shit with Terezi. You know Terezi too? GC? Oh yeah, for sure. Does Nepeta? You're expecting her to exclaim and wag her imaginary tail. Instead, she goes quiet. Uh-oh. Fat pops and sizzles in the fire. Across the cave, Pounce lets out a lazy squeak that sounds like it came from a much smaller cat. You ask Nepeta if everything is okay. I mean, clearly not. She lives in the cave and there's a blood smeared looking... No, there's just straight blood smears over here on the side. No, not everything is okay. Of course not everything is okay. Come on now. We've been through this so many times. There's something wrong with all of them. There's something wrong with each and every one of them. So what you're saying is, you know all my friends. Well, that's not exactly what you said. It is kind of creepy if you dwell on it. But you keep meeting people through other people. That's normal, right? Well, you did just happen upon Riska on the beach, and Aradia found you asleep in a field. You haven't asked Nepeta if she knows Aradia, but you're sure that she does. Somehow. Slowly, Nepeta lifts her gaze from the flames and meets your eyes for the very first time. Maybe it's the firelight or the shadows gambling in the walls, but she looks haunted, hollowed out and filled with something you can't name. What are you? Nepeta may be goofy and playful and awkward, but she's perceptive, like a cat as well. That doesn't make her an idiot, and you get the idea that treating her like one is a very good way to have a very bad time. Let's explain. I mean, why wouldn't we explain? You tell Nepeta that you don't know what you are, or even who you are. You certainly know better than you did a few volumes ago, but you think you're an anomaly. You've crash-landed into someone else's story. Nepeta is still watching carefully, muscles wound tight. She's ready to pounce. On the fire, the meat begins to blacken and burn, but neither of you say anything. There goes dinner. Me and some friends were supposed to play a game. Different from the games we usually play. Even Equus was going to play this time, and he usually hates games. But then the game didn't work. Oh, right. You know about the game. She blinks at you. I dream sometimes. Dreams? Well, that's pretty normal. Not normal dreams, dummy. At least, I don't think that they are. I suppose that even if they aren't, I wouldn't have anything to compare them to. They are the only sort of dreams I've ever seen. I'm not sure what they are. I see other Nepetas sometimes. Sometimes Pounce is there, and sometimes she is dead, and that always makes me very sad. I see my friends too. And other people I don't know, but who I think would be pretty good friends if I got a chance. The bright, hopeful note in Nepeta's voice digs deep at the center of you, plucking at your nerves like a cello string. It makes you so impossibly sad. You don't know why. I don't see you, though. I don't think you fit in here. Ouch. I apologize, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. My dreams are probably silly and don't mean anything. She springs up from the fire and Kay down on Pounce, burying her hands and face in thick white fur. You get up and follow after her, because what else do you do? You should probably give up on this particular round at this point. You've quite thoroughly killed the friendship mood with all this existential angst. Why does she live all the way out here anyway? Wouldn't it be better to live closer to all of her amazing friends? At least Equus. Even Terezi, who is definitely very weird, has a house. Admittedly, it's in a tree, but it still counts. I'm used to when I was a regular. Or I think I did. A big lovely house with windows and lots of furniture for Pounce to scratch. Pounce closes her eyes and purrs. But then, I don't know. Something happened. I remember fire and noise and lots of shouting. And then I was on Pounce's back and we were running for a very, very long time. I think it was pretty terrible. Nepeta's fingers tighten on Pounce's ruff. I like it here. Getting very heavy now, all of a sudden. Oh well, yeah, it's supposed to. You'd think back to a different olive-blooded girl in an oversized jacket who lived rough, and another who made her living with murder. In fact, you could see Nepeta growing up into someone much like Polypa. Sharp and meaner. All of her bright edges sanded off, her games transformed into a struggle for survival. Even now, sitting bathed in the firelight, she looks tired. Every troll you've met carries the same exhaustion between their shoulders, even the high bloods to a certain extent. They are worn to the bone by the sheer weight of history and a future that promises more of the same. What does one do in the face of such insurmountable misery? How can you, a simple, silent protagonist— we're not that simple. We're not that silent. But anyway, ever begin to combat something so all-consuming, so monstrous? Nepeta is waiting for you to trudge through your mandatory self-aggrandizing introspective interlude. So you do all you've ever claimed to do. You hold out a hand and wait for her to take it. Zap! Oh. Nepeta yelps and jumps an impressive 4 feet into the air. Fair, you were doing a dramatic gesture and forgot to prepare her for it. Sorry about that. Where, huh? This is... Despite Equus' incredible strength and barely contained excitement, when he wraps Nepeta up in glistening, obscenely muscled arms, he embraces the gentlest you've ever been witness to. Ah, I agree. Hugs are nice. This is an incredibly unorthodox manner for a pair such as ourselves to become acquainted. I apologize for this gaudy display of public affection. It is extremely unseemly of me. Well, he isn't really in public right now. Actually, the opposite. You're the asshole popped into his private living space with zero warning. I suppose that's right. This is not the first time you have intruded on my space. Just let yourself in and go and out. How Indecent. Okay, dude, come. You'll get sweaty. I'm always sweaty. Equus, you're smooshing me. Oh. Equus lets go, but he doesn't step away. He's looking at Nepeta like he can't quite believe she's real. Are you real? I think so. I don't know how I got here. Don't worry about it. Ah, she's running circles around him. Ah, and he's smiling as well. That's adorable. Ah, this is like one of the most adorable things in a while. Ah. Don't worry about it. Just think of it as a reward for being such a very good kitty. Was that a weird thing to say? No. That was pretty weird. It's not that weird. Come on now, we've done weirder. You'll take it back. Nepeta doesn't appear to have noticed you fumbling. She's scampering on Equus in increasingly excited circles. Maybe you can't fix these kids' lives, maybe you can't improve society, but when it really comes down to it, you have the power to bring friends together. And damn, you'll take it. Ah, victory. Ah, hugs are nice. This is adorable. Ah, I like this one. I really enjoyed this one. Alright, that was quite a bit shorter, but like super enjoyable. That was neat. Okay. Alright. Well, I'll take a little pause now and return in mere moments.